Guys, how you guys doing? It's March 19th, 2018. Hoping you're having a wonderful day, guys. A blessed day. A few things I want to talk about here. First and foremost, Syria. All right. A couple things within Syria I want to talk about. First, Turkey. The Operation Olive Branch is still ongoing. It looks like Turkey is about to capture Afrin, if not have already captured Afrin. All right. At this point, we really don't know where this ends. Right. We don't know if Turkey is going to stop with this region and then get out, basically eliminate the threat, and return back to Turkey as they previously stated they would, or if they would dive southward even more. We don't know. It seems like Turkey has not really put a extension or a timetable on Operation Olive Branch. It's something we're going to have to continue to watch. It's something we're going to have to really keep our eyes on, guys. Another thing I wanted to talk about was we've been hearing multiple sources, all right? But take these sources with a grain of salt, okay? Multiple sources stating that the United States of America, that the West are currently getting ready to strike Syria, all right? One of the sources stated that they gave Russia 48 hours to get the diplomats out of there, to get reporters, just a general warning that this was going to occur, that a strike was going to occur. All right. My biggest thing with that is today we saw Bashar al-Assad out and about with his troops, with his civilians. If something like this was going to occur, you wouldn't see Bashar al-Assad out. Now, am I saying that the U.S. and its allies are not getting ready for a strike? That's not what I'm stating. But I'm saying we need to take these sources with a grain of salt. Okay, what we do know, currently there are naval drills happening right now with the U.S. and their allies around the region. All right, so they have the assets in the region. All right, they have the assets they need to strike Syria if need be. What we also know is Western powers like the UK, like France, like Germany, like the United States of America, all have been pointing to these chemical attacks and stating this is Bashar al-Assad, Russia knew about it, this is all on Syria, this is unacceptable, if the United Nations doesn't do something, we're going to do something. So what we do know at this point is that Western powers are not happy with Syria. That they're using these chemical attacks, which we've talked about in the past, these chemical attacks, there's no real evidence showing that Syria used them. All right, it looks more like a third-party entity is using these chemical weapons against civilians. All right, but it won't stop the West from using it as a reason to go into Syria. Another thing we know is France and President Macron in France. They really seem to be they're being aggressive towards Syria at this point. All right, I definitely think we're going to see a strike into Syria sooner rather than later, but I wouldn't put a timetable on it. All right, the reason I'm bringing all of this up is because we have sources coming out of the woodwork, local sources in the Middle East saying that something is coming, that a strike on Syria is going to happen in the next few days, if not the next week. All right, so we're going to have to continue to watch Syria. It's an evolving situation, as always. This is a big situation because if the U.S. and the West strike Syria, Russia said that they're going to respond this time militarily. So this is not something that we want to play with. This is a catalyst. This is a tinderbox that's ready to explode, and we do not want to get into that situation. But like we all know, situations like that occur, and it's kind of out of our hands. So we're going to have to continue to watch this situation, see how Russia responds, see how Iran responds, see how Syria responds. The last thing I wanted to talk about, of course, is North Korea. Because there's reports and South Korea. See, that's my biggest thing about this whole entire North Korea situation. What we're hearing about progress being made with dialogue with North Korea coming out and saying this and saying that, is all this information is coming from South Korea. All right, we're not hearing this from the KCNA. Okay, North Korea is not putting any of this out. But I mean, I am hopeful. But our latest reports are stating that North Korea may release 3 of the U.S. hostages, they're prisoners, but basically hostages that they have in their country, they might release them as a gesture of goodwill. I hope this is the case, because if this happens, this would tell us, hey, dialogue may be real. Now, do I still think that this means anything? I want to say no. I mean, my gut tells me that the Kim Jong-un dynasty, they are just trying to survive, that regime is just trying to survive, and this is just them buying time. I believe that they're just buying time to perfect their ICBMs. Why would they give them up? I still don't know. I still don't know, and I wish I did. I wish that I could be extremely hopeful. All right, you can be hopeful, but also be realistic. All right, and at this current juncture, where I stand, okay, is, you try to trust them. All right, you try to trust the process, trust dialogue, trust diplomacy, but at the same time, you can't give up the sanctions. You can't give up military force. All right, that's where we stand. That's where we stand. And I've seen a lot of reports that the CIA is helping form these dialogues, which is really funny because I've heard a lot of rumors out there that that North Korea is actually a CIA front. So, I mean, it's real weird that you see reports that the CIA is in there helping. Real weird stuff, guys. It's like, man, they think we're really dumb. They think we're really dumb. Like I always say to guys, there's a couple places in the world that are catalysts, that, you look at these regions and the situations that are happening, and you're like, man, this shit could really pop off, all right? We're really getting to a point with North Korea where it's either diplomacy works and everything goes 100%, or war. That's your only two options. We're getting really narrow down the road. And then Syria is such a complex situation where you have the West who keep on using these chemical attacks that keep on happening, and Bashar al-Assad and Russia are both coming out and saying, hey, this wasn't us, all right? This wasn't Syria. This wasn't Russia. But the West keeps on pushing that. And you have third parties coming in and saying, really, the evidence doesn't show that Bashar al-Assad is doing this. We can't prove that he is. But the West is still using this, and they're saying, hey, these chemical weapons attacks, these chemical attacks on innocent civilians, on children, on women, this is Bashar al-Assad. And they're using that to justify action in Syria. We're going to have to continue to watch Syria and North Korea very closely, guys. As more information comes out, I'll let you guys know. We'll discuss it. Have a beer, say a prayer, and as always, keep your eyes to the skies. God bless.